Hey brothers and sisters, how y'all doing? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. I'm so happy to be back. I feel like I've been gone for the longest time. So I wanted to come and do a natural hair video to talk to you guys a little bit about my hair. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Michelle. So for those of you who followed me for a long time, for those of you who've been part of my YouTube fam, my ride or die subscribers, you guys know that I have had the most ups and downs with my hair. You know that. I've dyed my hair over and over. I've put a curly perm in my hair. I've cut it. I've done all kinds of craziness with my hair and experimenting with it. And that's part of the fun of being natural. I mean, when you first start messing with your hair, it's kind of like you want to do everything to it. But there comes a point in time when you might start realizing my hair is not really growing. Like, why isn't it growing? Why does my hair look like this and someone else who cut their hair at the same time looks different? And I know we all say, well, you shouldn't compare yourself to other people, focus on yourself, but realistically, you're gonna compare yourself to other people because that's what lets you know where you are. Just keeping it real. So many of you guys have commented on my videos and sent me emails asking me how this time around I was able to get my hair to grow. And I know a lot of you guys are so proud of me for keeping up with my hair this time around and allowing it to be healthy and to thrive. So I wanted to come back and share with you guys 10 different things that may be stopping your hair from growing. These are things that you might be doing all the time, or maybe you're not doing at all, but if you're mindful of it, it'll help your hair to grow. So before we get into the video, I want to show you these earrings because I know someone's gonna ask me. They're from the Happiness Boutique. One of them is long and one of them is short, and they're so cute. I feel like it's just funky and different. They're really, really cute. Really, really subtle. It's like a subtle kind of like funky. It's a subtle funky. I like it. So the first thing, and I know this is something that is not talked about enough, is your diet. A lot of us do not pay enough attention to the things that we eat. We just go through our day, we eat what we eat, and then that's that. But what you put into your body is truly going to affect what your hair does and how your hair looks. It's going to affect the luster of your hair. It's going to affect the growth of your hair. Yes, genetics do play a huge role in your hair. And if naturally in your family, everyone's hair is super, super long, that's fabulous. You probably won't even have that issue. But depending on your hair, the texture and all of that, you have to pay attention to what you're eating if you want to grow it. So it's really important to eat a lot of green vegetables, leafy greens. It's so interesting how my hair really started to thrive when I started focusing on my fitness. And I didn't even know. I wasn't focusing on my hair. I was just worried about getting my body into shape. And so I was eating differently. But when I started eating differently, my hair started growing. My hair started feeling a lot softer, and I had like a natural luster to it that I never really used to be able to get without putting product on my hair. But like I said, spinach, kale, I drank a lot of green smoothies, and of course drinking lots of water, which I struggle with doing, but we'll talk about that later. If you're not paying attention to your diet, it's going to affect your hair. You do have to watch what you eat and try your best to eat healthy foods that can aid in your hair growth. Another reason why your hair may not be growing is you're not paying attention to your products. So many of us, when we become natural, we become product junkies. We buy so many different things. And so on wash day, you might use a certain product, and then the next wash day, you're switching it with other things. And throughout the week, you might be twisting and untwisting your hair or styling it using different products each time. And a lot of us don't just use one product until it runs out. We use it a little bit, and then we go and use this, and then we use that, and then we use this, and then we come back. That inconsistency isn't good for your hair. But more importantly, you're also not paying enough attention if you're doing that. So you can't really figure out if a product works if every time you use it, you're mixing it with different things. It's too difficult. It's really important to stay consistent with your products and to pay attention to which products are really helping with whatever your issues are, whether that be moisture, protein, hold. Just make sure you're paying close attention to the ingredients on the products. If you find a product that works really well for your hair, then you need to figure out what about this product makes it work for you. Does it start with water? Does it start with an oil? Does it have certain chemicals in it? Does it contain silicones? If you're paying attention to your products, it'll help you figure out what other products could potentially work for you. We as influencers, we come on and we show you all these different things, but if you have things that work for you already, there's no need to go and buy something else. unless it doesn't work for you. If you're looking for a staple shampoo, that's fine. But if you have a shampoo that works super well for your hair, there's no need to buy another one. And if you have products that are not working for your hair, return it. Don't keep it and say, oh, well, you know, I might want to try it in the summer. I might want to try, just return it. Just return it in the summer, buy it again and see if it works. But don't just keep it, because then you end up with a ton of products and you're gonna keep using it. When you run out of something else, you're gonna go grab it and you're doing damage to your hair. The next thing is doing your hair in a rush. That is a big no-no. Don't do your hair in a rush. Whenever you're gonna go somewhere, if you know you have a twist out that you need to take out, if you know you have a braid out that you need to take out, if you're doing your hair in a bun or whatever you're doing with your hair, give yourself enough time. So if you know it normally takes you 1 hour to get ready, give yourself an hour and 40 minutes. And I say an hour and 40 minutes because it might only take you maybe 15-20 minutes to take out the twist. But for all of us who are natural, we know that a lot of times you take it out and you look a hot mess. And you know you have to style it, and between the frustration and the rushing, a lot of times you end up pulling your hair out. You end up pulling your hair, you create knots. If you have 4C hair like me, it's very, very, very coarse, and sometimes it really does knot up on itself. And I'm like, I've done that so many times where my hair has made that sound. And I'm literally ripping my hair, but I don't care because I'm trying to get out of the house. I'm like, oh, whatever, it's not a big deal. But it is a big deal because you're breaking off the ends of your hair and you are damaging it. Another reason why your hair may not be growing is because you're protective styling it too long. Now, I know protective styling is really encouraged in the natural hair community for growing your hair. It's important to put it in braids, in weaves, in buns, in styles that allow you not to have to get into your hair, manipulate your hair very often. That gives your hair time to grow. But for some of us, protective styling becomes a lifestyle, and you have your braids in for 3 months, or you have your twists in for 3 months, and it's too long. So what ends up happening is your hair is not getting proper treatment in these styles. A lot of people think that because they have braids and they don't have to do anything to their hair, they don't have to spray their scalp, they don't have to moisturize, they don't have to do anything. It's an easy protective style, but your hair is not being cared for at all. And a lot of times people get too comfortable, leave them in too long. Next thing you know, you can't even get the braid out. I've also been in situations where I have cut my hair on accident from protective styling. When I was taking out either the weave or taking out whatever it was, I cut my real hair. And I know that's happened to a lot of you guys because I have gotten so many comments on the video that I posted where I cut off a huge chunk of my hair in the front when I was taking out my crochet braids. So this is a really common thing. Just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean it can't. We all get busy, life is busy, and a lot of times we neglect our hair. But it's important that when you put your protective style in, you say, I'm only gonna keep it in for 4 weeks. And let it be for 4 weeks or 6 weeks or however long you say. But don't let it be too long, and if it is, make sure that you're truly taking care of your hair in the protective style. Another reason why your hair may not be growing is you're not oiling your scalp. This is probably the one thing that so many of us just skip because, for one, ain't nobody got the time for that. Number two, you have to actually remember to oil your scalp. Unless your scalp starts feeling dry or itchy, you're not really thinking about your scalp. But your scalp needs it. It needs the oil. I oil my scalp once a week now, and I make sure I do it. Before, I wasn't doing it. I was doing it when I felt like it, on wash day sometimes, but I wasn't doing it consistently. I like to oil my scalp on wash day. And below, I'm linking my video for my winter hair care routine, and I show you exactly what I do on wash day. But I do oil my scalp now on wash day. And I'm telling you, that has been a lifesaver for my hair. I oil it with Jamaican black castor oil, but in the bottle, I have other oils in it. I like jojoba oil, tamanu oil, and I massage it into my scalp. I really focus on massaging and getting my blood flowing in my scalp. That makes a huge difference with your hair growing. Another reason why your hair may not be growing is because you don't have enough consistency. You wash your hair when you feel like it. You do things when you feel like it. You don't have like a schedule or a consistent routine. The problem is when you don't have a consistent routine on how often you're gonna wash your hair, how often you're gonna moisturize your hair, how often you're gonna twist your hair, you forget. You don't remember. You might remember, oh, I washed it last weekend, but you very well could think you washed it last weekend and it was really 2 weekends ago. Life is so busy, and with allowing your hair to grow, consistency is key. When I first went natural, I wrote it down. I wrote down Sunday, wash, Wednesday, twist, Friday, style, whatever. I wrote it down, and that helped me to stay on track until it became natural for me and until it became a routine. Now, this reason why your hair will not grow is probably the number one reason. Your hair is dry. It's dry. It's just dry. It's dry. It's dry. That's why it's not growing. It's too dry. And I know that this is one of the biggest struggles that we have as naturals, is keeping our hair moisturized. But a lot of us are not doing anything about it. We're not deep conditioning. That is a really good way to moisturize your hair. And you don't need to follow anyone else's routine. You do what works for your hair. You don't have to do it once a week. You can do it twice a week. You can do it 3 times a week. You can do it as much as you want to do it, but you have to do it. So deep conditioning your hair, moisturizing your hair halfway throughout the week. I wear my hair in wigs. That's my protective style. I usually will wear my hair out on the weekends. That's what works for me. That has been what allows my hair to grow. I know some of you guys think, oh, you're wearing a wig over your pretty hair. Your hair is so pretty. You don't need that. Wear your own hair. It's not about it being pretty. My hair is pretty. My wigs are pretty. This is what I do for my hair because this is what works for me. So even if I wasn't wearing a wig, I'd be wearing braids or something else. I choose wigs because it allows me to be able to wash my hair more often. If I had it in braids or in a weave or something like that, I know me, I wouldn't do anything to my hair. So that's what works for me. My hair is in twists underneath my hair throughout the week, and I just take my moisturizer and I just rub it through the twist and I moisturize. I spritz my hair every morning with water. Moisture, moisture, moisture. And now, because I've had a routine, it's gotten to the point now where my hair tells me what it needs. If I wake up in the morning, my scalp feels dry, I oil it. I do what it tells me, and I'm consistent enough where now I know how long I can go without doing something before it becomes a problem. Another reason why your hair may not be growing is because you are dyeing it too much. I love hair dye. I love hair color. I love anything that's like interesting and funky and fun. That's just who I am. But I know that has not worked for me. My hair has broken so much because I dyed it. I'm not saying you can't dye your hair. If you are gonna dye it, just research how to dye it, get it professionally done, and don't keep dyeing it over and over and over if you're looking for growth. If you ask anybody who dyes their hair over and over again, they will tell you that their hair was damaged, especially if you're bleaching it, if you're going blonde or if you're bleaching your hair. I would stay far away from bleach, period. That's just my opinion because that just ruins your hair. Instead of dyeing your hair, there's so many other options that you can have nowadays. You can get wigs that mimic your hair and you can dye the wigs the color you want it to be. You can get clip-ins and you can dye the tips of the clip-ins and stick it into your hair and make your hair look more funky and fun. The only way I would dye my hair at this point is if I knew I was gonna cut it all off. Then I would dye it because then it wouldn't matter. And the last reason why your hair may not be growing is because you're cutting it too much. You're cutting it, trimming it too frequently. I used to trim my hair once every 3 months because that's what I was told to do, and it wasn't good because, for one, the more you trim, the more you want to trim for whatever reason. And I just became too scissor happy, and I was trimming it because I realized, okay, if I trim it, then now my curl curls better at the ends, and I always wanted to look like that. So I'm going to keep on trimming it every time it starts looking a little raggedy. I realized that sometimes it didn't even need a trim. It just needed more moisture on the ends. The ends of your hair are the oldest part of your hair, so it's most likely to be damaged. So I was able to repair my hair. Instead of having to trim it, I was able to repair it, and that way I kept my length. So if you're paying enough attention to your hair, you will know if you need to trim it or if it's just too dry and too brittle and it can truly be repaired. I think it's really important not to give up on your hair, not to get so frustrated with it. If you do get to the point where you're getting super frustrated with it, put it in a protective style for a little bit, for about 4 weeks. You will miss your hair at that point. Natural hair is so beautiful, but it does take work. And if you want it to grow long, you have to be willing to put in the work that it takes. I know with my hair, leaving it alone has been the best thing for me. I've already made a video about it. I'll link that video below too, about leaving my hair alone and what it's done for my hair. I used to play in my hair too much. I was always twisting it like every other day. It doesn't work for me. For me, I need to leave my hair alone, and that's how it grew. But not completely alone. You still have to take care of your hair. You can think of it like having a baby. When you have a baby and the baby's a newborn, you have to do a lot of intense care with your hair. And that's what I used to do. I was intensely caring for it all the time. But as your baby gets to be a child, and now they're 12 years old, you don't need to have that intense hands-on care. But you still need to feed your child, clothe your child, take your child out, make sure that they're, going to school. You're caring for them, but in a different way. And that's the same thing that I've noticed for my hair. I need to give it some space, but I still need to take care of my hair. I hope this video helped some of you guys. If you have more specific questions, please let me know, and I might have to do another video getting a little bit more in depth. But you guys, if you followed me, you know. I don't even have to tell you. You know how jacked up my hair was. So for it to go from that to this is like, wow. And I wish that someone could have told me some of these things, which is why I wanted to come and share them with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and being a part of my YouTube family. I love you guys so much. Y'all don't even know. I'll see you guys in the next video. Big kisses. Mwah. Peace, love, and light.